All right, what is going on, everybody? How are you people doing? Welcome back to another World Cup qualifiers recap video. So I'm going to be doing the recap of all the World Cup qualifier games. So let's just get into this video, shall we? So the first game that we had was the Moldova and the Scotland game. Scotland, they beat Moldova 2-0, and Scotland, they clinched a playoff qualifying spot. So it's going to be interesting to see if Scotland can qualify for the World Cup for the first time since 1998, because obviously Scotland surprised everybody by qualifying for Euro 2020. So I think it would be crazy to see Scotland qualify for another tournament, especially since they haven't played in a World Cup in like forever. That I think that Scotland, they could pull it off once again. So without a doubt, man, I think that Scotland have been the most underrated team in this entire World Cup qualify campaign besides Denmark. Those are my top two underrated teams. So next up, we had the Andorra and the Poland game. Poland, they win 4-1. Lewandowski scored a brace, and Milik even got a goal on the tally chart. And Poland, they've clinched a spot in the qualifier playoffs. So I'm really excited to see who Poland is going to play, So I'm hoping that Poland can, qualify for the World Cup, because obviously I think this could be Lewandowski's last chance of playing in a World Cup before he retires from the Poland national team, And I mean, obviously, I would love to see him play for another 5 years. But the question is, is Lewandowski going to be willing to once again, just commit himself to the national team or no? So that's why, Poland qualifying for the World Cup would be absolutely big, as Lewandowski, would have an opportunity to establish himself at the World Cup. Next up, we had the Austria and the Israel game. Austria, they win 4-2. Next up, we also had the game between Denmark and the Faroe Islands. Denmark, they win 3-1. And this is, I think, the first time that Denmark have conceded a goal in this entire World Cup qualification campaign. And then England, they absolutely had an incredible performance over Albania, 5-0. Harry Kane, he scored a hat-trick today, man. So can I say, man, England, once again, Gareth Southgate playing that ultra-hyper-offensive football. And I think that watching this England team play football is like watching a mixture of Sir Alex, old, Manchester United team, and then, a mixture of Thierry Henry's, and a mixture of Arsene Wenger's 2006 Arsenal squad. That's how it feels like watching this England football team play. Just absolutely rejuvenated, complete excitement, and just absolute talent on both sides of the pitch. Whether it's their midfield, their back for their keeper, just their front attack. England, they have what it takes. And I do think that England are one of my top teams that I think are going to make it at least to the Final Four in the World Cup in Qatar. Next up, we had the Hungary and the San Marino game. Hungary, they win 4-0. Italy, they Italy and Switzerland, they both held each other to a draw. And speaking of Switzerland's performance, man, Switzerland were pretty impressive in this game. That first goal by that Swiss player was just absolutely just a world-class strike. I mean, I don't know what to say about this game, but man, Italy, it looked like they were going to get a win today, but Jorginho, I think he missed a penalty, and then Switzerland holding Italy to a draw. That just goes to show, man, that you don't want to underestimate Switzerland, because this proves my point that Switzerland are that team you never want to count out. You never want to underestimate the Swiss squad. And, speaking of Switzerland, man, I generally have a feeling that Switzerland, they can just be that team that is always able to pull off some crazy, results in football. And that's the thing about Switzerland's football team, is that, they're that type of team that plays as a team. They don't rely on one player. Switzerland, they just absolutely give it all. So, whenever you play Switzerland, don't expect it to be an easy game against them, because Switzerland, they know how to, outsmart their opponent. That's the best way that I can describe, whenever teams play Switzerland. It doesn't matter if it's Brazil, Germany, France, like Switzerland, they know how to outsmart their opponent. That's one thing that I've noticed recently, possibly in the last 3 years, regarding the Switzerland football team, is that they are, without a doubt, I think, a top 6 team for sure. And then we had the Northern Ireland and the Lithuania game, so they won 1-0. And overall, man, this was a pretty impressive day. England, that's my biggest surprise, is how England were just able to completely just get a win over Albania. Obviously, it was an easy win for England, but I thought Albania was going to put up a fight over England, but it looks like that Albania didn't show up at all today, and that England, they just completely had a field day. I mean, Harry Kane, absolutely big, impressive performance. And what else is there to say, man? So I hope you people enjoyed this vid, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.